how did we get started? What caused this whole discussion on failure between us? It was the defeat of Hillary Clinton. And it was the realization that we came at this defeat very differently. And please understand, we'll take the politics out of it, whether one was for or against. That's not what the defeat meant to me. When Hillary Clinton was defeated, I felt devastated, but it was just a repudiation of everything that I had taught in my business etiquette and executive presence class. I had mentored for decades, still do. It was a repudiation of what I taught in that. And it was basically, I always said, be prepared, be more qualified than everybody else, move in the chairs, look the part, watch your tone and your communication skill. And here was, in my opinion, someone who did all of that. And, you know, at that point, I looked at it as a failure. And then a second part of the failure was, and here's the baby boomer in me, I really expect the kind of sisterhood or womanhood to come together in support, and they didn't. I mean, they maybe came out to march after the election, but there was not that basis of support. So I was devastated.
So, you know, as my aunt had said, you know, this isn't necessarily describing political views, and none of our material really talks about politics either. But really, what it was for me, and the reason why I was devastated, was more because of the fact that it was a woman's presence who had done everything right. And I felt like a lot of the teachings and expectations that were set for her were set for a lot of millennials, as far as following in the baby boomers' footsteps, making sure you're doing everything right, checking all your boxes off, following everything accordingly. And then when you get to the end, you get the promotion, you get the reward. And she didn't see that. And that's where it took for me to take a step back, especially in a field where it is mostly male dominated, which is athletics, thinking, oh no, I've been told the same things, following all the right steps, doing everything I'm supposed to do. When it comes time to that promotion, am I gonna hit that wall? And if I do, is it actually a failure? So something that I looked at was really from a sports perspective. I looked at it as there's failed opportunities. So in softball, as a catcher, if I made an error, if I made a throwing error, I failed that opportunity. But there were a number of other ways that I could contribute to the success of the game, or maybe to the win, or to help us, you know, move along as a team. Maybe I, you know, hit the winning run in, or maybe I end up making a really great double play, saving us from losing in the end. So what I looked at it was, although there was a failed opportunity for a woman to take the next step into a power position, I found that it opened a number of doors and other opportunities for success for more women, for generations of women, and especially the younger generations like the millennials and Gen Zs who were learning from those experiences.
One of the things that also came about as we looked at the material and the interviews, and which I was made a great impression on me, were the implicit biases that are really among the different generations of women. I can't tell you, and here are the expressions. Oh, she's in your face. She's a disruptor. She's not learning the history of the institution that she's in, or the company, what the company's all about. Oh my God, those tattoos, those rings in her nose. She just doesn't dress right. I mean, when you really start focusing in on the different generations of women, we really have a lot of implicit biases against each other.
One question that we asked from the very beginning, and we continue to do this today, is what barriers are we responsible for putting up? I'm sure most of you have heard, you know, you can only control what you can control. And something that I realized in athletics, when, being in a team sport especially, you, no matter whether you are best friends with the person or not, you need to work hand in hand with the person next to you in order to find success for everybody. So something I've always asked for, both professionally and personally, is what barriers am I responsible for putting up, or, you know, some of my team members, that we could avoid, that we could knock down, so that we're able to bridge that communication gap much easier and much more efficiently. So where did this take us is the next part. Is it's basically been a 5-year discussion on the word failure. It's a feeling that something we believe women rarely discuss. And, I know my aunt can contribute to this. Everyone has told us to stay away from this word. Some people are very confused by it. Some people, I do believe, fear it. Even our editor, when we first went with our material, was very concerned about the word failure, didn't really want it to be something that stood out. But what we have found really through all of this time is that the word failure is what makes Stilettos and Sneakers unique, because we're able to talk about it and use it to our advantage and find ways to become resilient and stronger and better business and personal people versus fearing the word.
And I think the biggest goal of to share is that we really have to learn from each other. We happen to be focusing right now on baby boomers and millennials, but that was it. What happened to us, and we believe as people participate in this conversation, they can also learn from each other as well.
And just to go off of that too, not only can we learn from one another, we're developing better personal and professional resiliency. And we've learned that through every conversation. So that's almost an expectation from Stilettos and Sneakers that you can take away from us, is that, you are building a stronger resiliency.